Hello and welcome to this video tutorial from ProfileTree. Today I'm going to dissect, compare and contrast 4 of the most popular website builders that are available today. The 4 sites that I will be discussing are Squarespace, Wix, Wordpress and GoDaddy. All of these websites have their own unique pros and cons respectively. In this video I will give some of the key advantages of each website builder and the same for disadvantages. I will then compare and contrast all 4 of them, summarising their pros and cons. I will then rank them based on their advantages and disadvantages. However, it is important to remember that it all depends on what kind of website you, the customer, are wanting to build to determine which builder you should use. For example, some website builders will be better for someone who's building an e-commerce website than it would be for someone who's creating a blog. Let's begin with Squarespace. So let's jump in and look at some templates that Squarespace offer. So here's your categories for all your templates. And one of the advantages of Squarespace is the attractiveness and the responsiveness of these templates. Squarespace offers more than 100 sophisticated themes that are optimized for tablets, phones, and pretty much most devices. So let's choose a template. Let's see, blogs. Let's click on blog. Find your website template. What is the purpose of your website? So enter something in here, obviously your business name or product, and Squarespace is going to try and find a template that best suits those words that you type in. So let's go for sports blog. Continue. And there we go. Start with Stella. One of the good things about Squarespace is that it offers more than 100 sophisticated themes that are optimized for tablets and phones. So not just your computer, and nowadays over 50% of searches are completed on a mobile device, so it's extremely important that you have this. So we need to log in here first, so either sign up if you haven't already got an account or log in. And then I'll open the template. Another thing about Squarespace is that it aims for perfection. So their designs, their fonts, their sizes, their images, everything just fits well together. Their templates are also highly customizable, and you'll see that through the site style menu. And when you compare this to Wix's templates, which sometimes aren't fully responsive and may have to be manually adjusted, should they not be optimized for mobile devices, Squarespace does this all automatically. So that's a key advantage of Squarespace when comparing to Wix and other website builders. But sticking with Squarespace, let's continue. Welcome to your site. Get started with your new site in 4 simple steps. So this guide will help you create your website. If you're not really familiar with website builders as such, then stick to this guide and you can't go wrong. So share your goal, introduce your site, select an image, pick your pages. Let's get started. Share your goal. What's the purpose of your site? It's a sports blog, so yeah, continue with that. Introduce your site title. Let's see. Belfast Sport Weekly. And a headline. And a button text. Next, select a header image, an eye-catching image to your banner. Here are a few from our partner Unsplash that could look great on your site. You can add more images later. So if you're actually creating a blog for business use, you most likely need to use your own images. So try and get some high quality images to add to your blog. I quite fancy that one, looks good. And then there's 3 pages that's automatically generated for me. You can always edit what your pages are going to be called and what they're going to be about. So I'll just go skip, next, finish setup, and that's you. So here you find your pages and the subsections of those pages. I'll just take you through the navigation here quickly. Design, you'll find different elements you can edit. E-commerce, so if you have any products, this is where you'll add them, your stock, your inventory, any discounts you want to add to products or vouchers, how your payment system works, what the customer sees at the checkout desk, shipping, are you going to ship the whole way around the world or just the UK, Europe, USA, your currency. You edit all this on commerce if you're selling stuff, but on this website at the minute we're just going to have a blog. It's just to show you marketing, email campaigns you'll do here, search engine optimization, promotional pop-ups, announcement bars, all this is in the marketing section. Back to navigation, analytics. So this is where you'll see who is visiting your website, how long they're staying on your website for, what their bounce rate is, how long they stay on without clicking off onto another website. So you just learn a little more about you learn a lot more in-depth knowledge about your audience. So keep that in mind. Settings, site visibility. At the minute it's private because I haven't published it yet, but obviously that'll change. Language and region, you can select which language you want to have. You can have more than one, certainly. Your business information, social links, if you've got any social media accounts you can link them here, connected accounts, and domains. All the advanced settings are here. So that's just taking you through the navigation. There's also a help page if you get stuck, where you can go onto webinars, which are online seminars, and they will help you through any queries you might have. So there we go. So if it is going to be a blog that you're going for with your website, I think Squarespace is the website builder for you. They have a feature-rich commenting feature, multi-author functionality, the ability to schedule posts, which means you don't have to put the blog up right away. You can schedule them for 2 days later, an hour later, just whenever you want your post to be uploaded to your site. AMP support and other features. On Squarespace you can even host your own podcast. Blog content is also a very useful way of getting your website found or ranked on search engines such as Google. And that brings me on to my next point, which is going to be SEO, which I've touched on in the past on my Wix videos. But today we're going to talk about it in terms of Squarespace. So SEO is quite easily optimized on Squarespace. You can customize page and site titles, which search engines typically prioritize. They also prioritize things such as page titles, blog post titles, and headings. And on Squarespace you can also add an SEO title, as well as a navigation title and a page title. You can edit these titles in the page settings, just here. So go to the checklist and just take a look. All Squarespace templates are built for clean indexing by search engines. So that's when the search engine just goes through your site and scans every bit of content on your site to give the user the most relevant content when they search. So that's why it's important to add relevant keywords to your blog titles, your page titles, and use those keywords as frequently as you can without being too obvious about it on your blogs. For example, if you're too obvious about it, Google can sometimes pick up on this and realize that you're just adding these keywords in order to get found, and they will not rank your site. So just be careful, you just have to be smart about it. So as I was saying, all Squarespace templates are built for clean indexing by search engines, but the content you add to your site and how you present it plays a big role in how easily people are able to find you. As you prepare to launch your site, go through the list below to ensure your site is optimized for search engines and visitors alike. A tip: for more in-depth explanations of SEO practices, visit Increasing Your Site's Visibility of Search Engines. So click on that. I'll put a link in that in the description if you need to take a look at that. But this is just what I was talking about with the site titles, the descriptions, your location. If you add your location, you're going to be found by people in your local area, such as if I wrote Belfast, where I am now. If I was selling this, or if I was trying to get this Belfast blog found, I would write Belfast all over it, and then it will come up for people in Belfast, which may sound obvious, but there you go. Connect a custom domain, connect social media, all these things will help get your page found. So back to the page. Another advantage of using Squarespace is that it's ideal for e-commerce users. You've got all your settings here for building an e-commerce website. So if we go to payments, there's a feature called Stripe, which you can connect quite quickly and easily, and this enables you to take payment via Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, and Apple Pay. Apple Pay is the leading payment software at the minute, as it's probably the safest and fastest way you can pay the user if they're on iPhone or iPad, which most e-commerce users are using nowadays. They're using tablets and phones. They can pay by simply putting their thumb on the keypad using their Touch ID, and this will automatically take a payment from their card. You can also connect PayPal, which is, as we all know, another very safe way of paying. If I was to give some disadvantages for Squarespace, I would say for beginners, if you've never used an online website builder before, then Squarespace is probably not the best one to start with, as it's quite challenging in terms of how complex it is, I would say, and maybe the user interface on other builders such as Wix is a little more user-friendly for beginners. So that's one disadvantage, I would say. But there's always the help pages which you can go on to, and there's video tutorials to try and help you if you do get stuck. So it's a very nitpicking disadvantage. I think Squarespace is a great website builder, but I would say if you're a beginner, maybe start on something less complicated. Another disadvantage that I would give would be that the price plans are relatively expensive. However, a way around this would be to purchase your domain off a website called www.namecheap.com, then link it through to your Squarespace website. Despite the plans being relatively expensive, part of the reason for this is because of how transparent they are with their customers. For example, they don't have any hidden pricing strategies or any tactics written in the small print like some other website builders do. Their plans all include unlimited bandwidth, unlike some other website builders. So that's me finished with Squarespace. It was just a very brief overview of the advantages and disadvantages, and now we'll move on to Wix. So as you may have seen on some of the previous videos, I've covered Wix quite a lot, so I will try and keep this overview as brief as possible. So the first thing I would say about Wix is that its user interface is probably the most friendly user interface out of all the website builders I will cover today. What I mean by that is when you're designing things and you're just going through the navigation of the website, everything is just well laid out and easy to understand, which is ideal for beginners. I would say also, if we go to premium plans, the pricing for Wix is quite good value, especially in the short term. So what I mean by this is that Wix are actually, I wouldn't say expensive, but maybe in the long term, for what they offer you, you're having to pay quite a lot compared to some of the competitors and what they offer. So on Squarespace, you get unlimited bandwidth on every plan, whereas on Wix, unlimited bandwidth comes at a minimum of £8.50 a month. So look, 1 gigabyte of bandwidth, £3 a month, 2 gigabyte, £6. So the first stage that you get unlimited bandwidth is you have to pay a minimum of £8.50 a month, which is not so good compared to some of the other website builders. However, they do often have special discounts, which can see these plans plummet to 50% off, half price. And yeah, so another thing that I would say that is good about Wix is that they're constantly updating their program to get better and better. It usually releases an update every few months, and this has lots of new benefits and features, and it's ever improving, and therefore your website will improve with it as long as you maintain it efficiently. So the last update was on the 25th of June 2019, today. Now you can easily import your WordPress blog and post to your website. Just add your WordPress URL to get started. So yeah, look, there's updates every couple of days. And you can even get notified when each update is. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about with Wix, we're coming up towards the end of our Wix overview, is Wix Apps, which I'll touch on briefly. You'll find them on the dashboard. Scroll down to Apps, and it will bring you to the app market. So there's some very useful apps that can help boost your website. Apps such as live chat, get subscribers, and social media apps, and many more can help boost your site's functionality. So it just gives an extra dimension to your website, and it just makes sure it might make your site stand out compared to the rest of your competitors if you have something like this. Obviously blogs and photographs are all quite generic apps that you could include, but having a live chat support system, 24/7 round the clock support, which you can actually link to your phone. If you add a live chat to your website and someone is struggling to use or needs to ask a question about your website, they can send a message on the live chat. It will come through to your phone if you choose that you want that to happen, and you can reply to that straight away, which will definitely be a positive thing for your website. The next thing I'm going to talk about, which is good about Wix, is Google Analytics, which you will find on Marketing Tools. And Marketing Integrations. So to properly connect this, you would need a premium Wix site, but you can sign in to a Google Analytics account, which will take you to an external page where you can log in and getting to know about your audience, what they're doing, their bounce rate, is extremely important, and Wix makes this quite easy to do. So now on to the disadvantages of Wix. As I touched on earlier, long-term pricing is something that keeps being flagged up, and it can take away from the attraction of choosing Wix as your website builder. Wix plans begin at £3 a month, which does sound great until you realise that you will still have Wix ads running on your website. The first plan simply gets your domain name. It gets your domain name, and that's simply all it does for you. You could counter argue this and say that Wix does offer some things that other website builders doesn't offer to make up for the value, such as the Site Booster app, which is worth $60 or £60 or £50 roughly in value. A form builder app, professional logo with Wix's new logo maker, which is doing quite well. Social media logo files, so it'll be different sizes of logo files. Priority response and VIP support. £75 in ad vouchers. And yeah, so you could say that it makes up for it in that. However, it is still quite expensive for what you're getting. So if we go back and go to the dashboard, something that can be quite frustrating sometimes is the actual builder itself, the editor, as sometimes and very seldom does this happen, but things such as headers and footers can become quite hard to manage, and this can cause things to go out of place, and it can be quite hard to get them back into place. Combining more than one thing together can be tricky, although recently Wix has invested a lot of money into its builder and editor, and they're slowly but surely eradicating these issues that our users are facing at the minute. Another thing that can be quite hard is exporting data. So with Wix, there is no easy way to export or transfer your website's content to another website. So if you build a full website on Wix and then one day you decide, at the end of your Wix contract, of course, if you've got a premium site, if you decide you want all this data transferred onto a WordPress site, it's going to be extremely difficult to transfer all that data, as Wix obviously doesn't want you to leave. And if you've set up all that content onto that website and you can't take it anywhere else, the chances are you're not going to leave and go and make another website if you've invested thousands of hours into it. So that's my evaluation of Wix, and now we will go on to WordPress. Okay, let's get started with WordPress. So click Login at the top right hand corner of your screen, and it will bring you to the login page. So you can either log in with your email or username, or you can continue with Google. So on this occasion, I'm going to continue with my Google email address. And right away that will log me in, as it will store all my details. And we're now going to click right at the top corner, and then we're going to go to create site. So straight off the bat, WordPress is going to ask you what kind of website you are building. So is it a blog? Is it a business to promote products or services? Is it a portfolio, professional portfolio, or is it an online e-commerce store? I'm going to go for an e-commerce store because then we can compare, as we have already looked at e-commerce on Wix and Squarespace. So let's click online store, and then, as I've touched on previously as well, on SEO, you're going to need to enter a keyword for your site address, and to get the best possible keyword, you're going to want to write something that's relevant to your product or service, but also something that people are searching for on a regular basis. And a quick and handy way to do that is to download an extension on Google called, I'll give you a little second if you want to write this down, it is called Keywords Everywhere. So if we open a new tab, type in Keywords Everywhere, click on this, the first page, and install for Chrome. It will then take you to the extensions page where you will click add to Chrome, add extension, and then you need to get your API key, so enter your email, agree to the terms of service, well, you don't have to agree to that. It will then send you the API key. Click here to access your API key. Copy it. That will copy to your clipboard. You're then going to go to your extensions. Click on Keywords Everywhere. Extension options, and then paste in the API key and click Validate. Once that's validated, you're free to use the software. So now if I go onto Google and type in golf equipment, you'll already see that it will tell you over here how many searches there are for that a month. So there's 18,100 searches for golf equipment per month. So if I wanted something more specific, I could check golf equipment Belfast, and there's only 10 searches a month for that. But if you're just starting off, that's still quite a good amount, and because you've got the keyword Belfast, any traffic from the local area or wherever you are will go towards your website. So let's go back to our WordPress. And our name is going to be Golf Equipment Belfast. And there you will see that that domain is valid. It's not only valid, but it is available, is the word I was looking for, and you can choose that. If not, you can have a look at some of the others. So WordPress gives you complete control of your website. You own and control all of your website's files and data, and you're not tied to a web hosting company, and you can move your website anywhere you want. So unlike Wix, where it's quite hard to transfer data, if you've already set up your website on Wix and you've purchased your premium domain for a year, you get to the end of the year, you're unsatisfied and you want to change to another website, but you don't want to lose all your data and content, it's going to be quite hard to transfer that to another website. But with WordPress, it's quick and easy to transfer all your data to a different website or website builder or extension or domain. So it also gives you access to a huge collection of extensions, add-ons and plugins to extend your website, which is very, very useful. But we will continue with this and see what it gives us. So the prices, again, we're back on to $25 per month billed annually. And if you look at all the things that it gives you, it's actually quite good value, and it gives you the most popular plan. If it's an e-commerce site, it's slightly more expensive. So there's only really 2 plans compared to Wix's. I think they have about 7 or 8 different plans. So it keeps it simple. There's no hidden fees, there's no tricks to be caught out by. So if we click that, awesome, give us 1 minute and it's going to set it up for us. So yeah, just go ahead and enter your information and then go ahead and purchase the domain, and that's you set up on WordPress. But now I want to go back and just talk a little more about WordPress as a website builder and discuss its advantages and disadvantages. So to go back onto advantages, it gives you access to a huge collection of extensions, add-ons, plugins to extend your website. This will enable you to make your website more personal to what suits your needs and wants. It's also super easy to customize with thousands of website designs and templates to choose from. Each of them comes with different customization options, allowing you to create a truly unique website. To put it simply, it makes website building easy. Due to its popularity, almost all third-party tools already have integrations available for WordPress. So the likes of your email marketing software, your lead generation tool, your SEO tools, and even your CRM software, which stands for Customer Relationship Management. They all already have integrations in WordPress, so you don't need to worry about that. To jump on to some cons of WordPress, although it's you have complete control of your website, and that was listed in the pros, you also have to list it in the cons, as with that comes the responsibility of looking after all the security by yourself, marking backups and installing updates, and with that comes an added pressure of looking after so many different things on your website. And I'll actually try and take you through some of the security features that you would have to look after. If I go to my site and go down to Manage, Settings, your public and private is a security feature that you would need to manage by yourself. If I scroll down, it should say, public, hidden, and private. So that's your three different types of website that you can have. Your public, anyone can see it. Your hidden, it's available to everyone, but it can't be found on search engines. And private, only people that you invite can come in and see your website. So these are the sort of security features you're going to have to look after yourself. It doesn't sound a lot right now the way I'm describing it, but there will be, you would have to maintain it, which is going to cost, it's going to ask for your time, and time is money, so it's just something you just need to take into consideration. What I would also say about WordPress is that it is a lot more code orientated. I wouldn't say code specific. I would say that it's not essential to learn coding to use WordPress. However, some basic knowledge of HTML, hypertext markup language, and CSS will make things a lot easier. So just definitely consider trying to learn a bit of code in order to, if you were going to use WordPress. If not, then definitely jump onto Wix. But I think it's easier to make a more personal and therefore effectively better website using WordPress. So try and get a brief knowledge of coding. So overall, I would say that WordPress is definitely up there with, if not the best website builder in my opinion, or in our opinion at ProfileTree. Up there with Wix. Wix is definitely the number one in terms of how many people use it. But I think over the next few years, WordPress and Wix will definitely have to battle it out for top spot. But definitely do not definitely give WordPress a chance and see what you think of it before just jumping into Wix or GoDaddy, which we're going to get onto now. So, as I'm sure you've seen, GoDaddy has launched an extensive advertising campaign over the past, I'd say, 6 months, and it's been quite successful. They have seen some success. Numbers of users has increased significantly, and they have heavily invested in their website builder, and they've also added a new feature which is 24/7 customer support, which not many website builders have. So that's always a good feature to have. If you ever get stuck, you've always got 24/7 support. Chat live now all day, Monday to Friday. So there you go. Now, GoDaddy has primarily been known in the past for being a domain host, where you would purchase a domain and that would be it, but it's actually got quite a good website builder. which we'll take a look at now. If we go to the home page and click Start for Free, create a terrific website in under an hour. It's a play on the phrase from Harry Redknapp. So we'll select this. No credit card required, it says. Build a better website in under an hour. Get found on Google and top sites like Facebook and more. Manage everything from your phone, tablet or computer, which, as we know, it's been mentioned earlier how important that is, as over 50% of searches nowadays are completed on a phone or tablet, and the other 50 on a computer or other devices. So that's a good feature to have. Create a secure and mobile friendly site, and unlimited designs tailored to your industry. So if you go ahead and sign up, you can sign up with Facebook or your email and password. So yeah, I'm just going to sign up. Just bear with me. So it's now taking us to the website builder. Let's get started. So what is your industry? It starts quite similar to the Wix website. What is your industry? Our industry is going to be, we'll go with ProfileTree. So choose a theme. Customize. Change the color. Whatever font you like. And remember to keep the font consistent. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of designs here, as GoDaddy have obviously heavily invested in the builder. So I actually just want to go through and look at all the things that they have added. Site settings. So it's your domain name, your social accounts, your Google Analytics is all in this section. And add to the page. So here's all the different things you can add. If you want to add some content, a photo gallery, an online store for e-commerce, video. Be interesting to see how much video content GoDaddy actually allows you to have, which I'll check for you. HTML if you want to add some custom code to your website, similar to WordPress. Subscribers. And your social icons, reservations. I'm actually quite impressed with how extensive the design element of this website builder is, and it actually looks very professional. It also gives you a free domain to start off with, like Wix does. But obviously you're using the subdomain of GoDaddy. So yeah, I'm quite impressed so far. Let's move on to the prices for the websites. If we go back to the home page. So let's take a look. For a personal domain, you're looking at £5 a month, or £60 a year. And with that, you get your domain, mobile friendly site. You can edit on the go using a mobile or tablet. Your 24/7 support, 1 year free of Office 365 email, PayPal button. However, you don't get SEO help. You get 1 social media and listing platform, 5 social posts and responses a month, and 100 email marketing sends a month. So it's quite limited in that respect. You don't get any online appointments with this one, and no e-commerce. For £7 a month, you get all that except SEO help and slightly more in the social media and email marketing. However, still no online appointments or e-commerce. Now we're jumping up to £11 a month, £131 a year. And you get slightly more with this one. You get unlimited social media and listing platforms, unlimited social posts and responses, and 5,000 email marketing sends. And you're also able to make use of the online appointments. And finally, the online store is £20 a month or £240 for the year, and that gets you everything, right down to the e-commerce, accepting credit cards, PayPal and Apple Pay. So overall, I would say that this is not as good value as the previous website builders that we have looked at. However, you could find a way around this by purchasing a domain and transferring from another website. But yeah, I don't think that's the best value. But we have looked at some pros, and the website builder has been heavily invested in over the past 6 months to a year, and it's looking in good shape. So what I would recommend, having looked at all 4 website builders, is to just go through and have a trial. If you have the time, have a trial at all 4. Spend maybe 15 minutes on each website builder and try and identify what works best for you, which user interface you find most suited to you in terms of how easy it is to use, and just try and get a feel for each website builder. But overall, I would say that Wix is probably the best one for you to use as a beginner, and if you use that for a year and you're enjoying it, then by all means continue using it. However, if you use it for a year or 2 years and feel that you have a lot more expertise in the website building field, then I would maybe recommend trying out WordPress, as it's also a great website builder if you have a bit more knowledge in that field. That's the end of my video. I hope this has helped you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below the video, and be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed the video, and any feedback in the comment section. If you have any questions, you can also email us at hello@profiletree.com. And yes, that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.